Hey, what's going on everyone? Welcome to another video on the channel. This is going to be very laid back. It's going to be a long video probably. So I'm just going to be going over a lot of things over here. I would suggest you grab some popcorn, maybe grab a cold drink from your mini bar. Actually, you know what? Let me do that. Yes, I did install a mini bar in my room. I know it's very extra, but it is what it is. I got my IBC, root beer, and let's give it a shot. Ooh. So this video is just going over a lot of the parts for the 850R project. If you're new to this channel, we have a 97 Volvo 850R that we completely are revamping everything, redoing everything. The motor is currently out, which you will see in an upcoming video, and it has been taken apart to see the damage on the inside. And I will say that, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but what we found was actually something that we've never seen before. A few people have actually said that, so it's pretty interesting to see what happened to that motor. But yeah, so in this video we're going to be going over a lot of the parts that we're installing for the I guess version 2 of this build. And I broke this video into 3 different sections. So first we will talk about the aesthetics or the looks wise modifications that we're doing to the car. It's going to be very quick, not a lot to go over there. In the second part, we'll be talking about a lot of the maintenance items for this vehicle, which are the parts that you see in front of me on this table. And if you saw my FCP Euro video, I'll link it in the description, that I posted previously. You might have seen several of these parts already. But the third part of the video, and obviously you have to leave the best thing for last, we'll be talking about the go fast parts for this car, and obviously the most exciting. You may see some of these things over here already. This big box just right next to me, that's going to be something special that we're installing on the car. So yeah, like I said, just kick back, and this is just going to be a very non-scripted, laid-back video. And hopefully my cat, there he is, doesn't knock something over. But yeah. Alright, so the first thing is my car is a sedan. It's the 854R, and it is a white color sedan. And so I always liked the bumper spoilers, or the lips, that the guy out of the UK, I believe his name is Duncan Cassidy, something like that. He makes these for the 850 models, and he even has a new version to mimic the BTCC car front bumper. This is what it is right here. As you can see, it's still bubble wrapped, waiting to go on. This is just a very nicely made, I guess it's a hard plastic, hard composite, that gets screwed on to your existing bumper. Now that'll be great because I had just refinished my bumper, my white color bumper. I got it repainted, and so I'll be able to go ahead and put this on. I think it would look very nice with a nice contrasty look. For the second part in this category, I have something that I purchased from Redline Goods, and big shout out to them. And basically, living in Texas and your car constantly being under the sun has the potential to destroy your dash, destroy your steering wheel, and other things. And so my steering wheel was pretty nasty, and it was time for an upgrade. And since we are creating this monster of a vehicle, 400, 450 wheel horsepower that we're shooting for, something like that, it needed something to kind of, you got to connect with something, you know, and what better way than the steering wheel. So that had to be top notch, and we got this custom made, and they sent it out all the way from Europe. And let me just take it out. No, stop looking, relax. It's not for you to play with. And this is eventually what I spec'd out and what I had them make for me. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous wheel when you see this in person. But I wanted an aftermarket wheel, and I wanted to retain my airbag because, you know, they can kind of save your life maybe. So aftermarket wheels without the airbags are pretty cool. They look great, they must feel great, but I still wanted my airbag. So I spec'd for a replacement 850R wheel. I got the European version because their airbag, their centerpiece over here, is actually a little bit smaller than the US spec. US spec to me is hideous with that big gigantic square in the middle. So I wanted the Euro spec, and they were able to find me that. And then they began to work on the requirements that I had. So the first thing is I wanted to retain some of the 850R personality. So they come the black color, and then they have the gray on the bottom, and so that's what I asked for. But instead I wanted the whole thing in Alcantara. So it's black Alcantara on top, and then there's gray on the bottom. And then I wanted the thumb grips, they call them pistol grips, I think, like that, for better grip on the side over here. There's some contouring that you have over here. I wanted the yellow stitching as well as the yellow stripe on the 12 o'clock because it's going to be matching some accents inside the vehicle. But the thing that I like the most that I actually didn't ask for, but they went ahead and they did that. Oh, there goes the cat. Is whenever I opened the steering wheel box and I saw it had the flat bottom. Like, that's just really cool. That was a great, great touch, and I'm super happy that they did that. And a big, big shout out to Redline Goods. They communicate very well. Excuse me, sir. I told you it was a matter of time when this cat would just go ahead and barge in. But yeah, shout out to Redline Goods for this amazing steering wheel. So that pretty much does it for the aesthetics. Those are just a few things that I wanted to add to the vehicle. I also have to do the headliner. I have to eventually do some dash work because those suction cup things for your phones, yeah, if you leave them there for a long time under some Texas heat and you remove them, they might take a chunk out of your dash. Ask me how I know. But now we can move on to the maintenance items. And so in front of me I have just a whole bunch of stuff, and I'll try to go through them as quick as possible. But this is the reason why I stress to you guys to buy from FCP Euro, because if you're like me, your car probably goes through a bunch of different iterations over time, and every single time you want to upgrade or install something or change the build on your vehicle, it's always great to put fresh parts for maintenance. And if you buy them once from FCP Euro, you can continue getting them for free for the life of the vehicle, and so it saves you a lot of money. And this is exactly why I saved about $1,000 buying from FCP, because I don't have to buy these parts all over again. We have all these seals over here that we're going to be installing, camshaft seals and axle seals, all these types of things over here. We have the important one, our rear main seal, so that we ensure there's no oil leaking over time. Some random bolts over here, some more axle seals and whatnot. Over here we have the Hawk HPS brake pads. Now I'm excited to put these on the vehicle because whenever I did the big brake kit on the car, it came with certain brake pads that were in the kit, and I never really noticed what the whole point of the BBK was. It didn't feel any stronger to me, and ultimately I found out that those brake pads were not really good, and the Hawks are a lot better. So these are supposed to have a really, really good life and stop the car a lot better than what I'm currently using. That will be put on. This filters were, not needed. We are going to replace all of the motor mounts all over again. Actually, these I never replaced on the car, but the other ones, such as the passenger front side of the motor, will be replaced. The upper engine mount motor mount will be replaced. The one on the front of the motor will be replaced so that we make sure that when the car is putting out all that power, that the motor is staying firm in place. Over here we have random turbocharger exhaust gaskets for your downpipe. We have the ones for the exhaust manifold. We also have the one-piece unit somewhere, so I know there's several opinions on which gasket is better than the next. We have turbo oil drain, O-rings and gaskets, manifold gaskets over here, as you can see. And here's another one. The head gasket kit that we have over here has everything you need. Another gasket, as you see right there, as, in addition to the actual head gasket. But there's also the, what are these? The valve seals and some of the camshaft seals. Again, a lot of duplicated parts, but to have everything is better than to be missing something. We also have our components for the PCV. People who own these cars know that these get clogged and they become very restrictive, so we need to make sure that the car is breathing correctly. So a brand new PCV to replace the one that's on there, which really isn't that old, but you know what? Thank you, FCP. Appreciate you guys. And I will continue taking advantage of that LRG that you guys have. Over here we have the belts, timing belt, serpentine belt from Continental, great stuff, OEM stuff. We have our idlers, our pulleys, tensioners for the water pump that we'll go ahead and replace as well. And the water pump comes with the gasket. And these are all OEM parts, so that will get freshened up as well. And to make sure that we're getting our proper cooling. Over here we have our head bolts that will get installed, as well as the piston rings. Now, these I never installed on the motor because I never took the motor apart. But these have always been an issue for me because my compression on the vehicle was always a tad low on the lower side of the acceptable range, and I always suspected that they were worn piston rings. So with this new build, I got some new piston rings and I'm excited to put these on so that this little motor can have the utmost compression to deliver all that boost that we need and have optimal peak power. Now, in the front we have our fuel filter. The car is currently running E85, so it'll be nice to get this thing freshened up so it can have some clean fuel to be drinking. And then over here we have our spark components for the ignition, distributor, rotor, cap, that kind of stuff. Over here it says STI, but it has nothing to do with the Subies. Sorry guys. But these are our ignition wires, and it's kind of interesting because I guess they didn't have the stock black OEM ones, so you kind of get upgraded to the nicer ones, the nicer performance ones. Now, this is an interesting thing because I have not decided yet if I want to continue with the distributor cap style of ignition. I think I'm gonna go coil and plug, and so I mean, these parts I will probably give them to someone, give them to a friend, or sell them or something like that if I decide not to use them. But yeah, they're brand new parts and I paid for them and I got them replaced because they may go back. But what else do we have? For the most part, that's kind of it. I'm sure there's a lot of other things that I'm not really covering, but who cares? It's kind of boring. So now we can go ahead and cut to the best part of the video. We saved the best for last. And we can start off with these connecting rods. Let me put these things away. Get them out of here. Here we go. Max Peating rods. Arguably the dumbest name. No offense. The dumbest name in the business. But they work, and they've been proven to work, at least for their rods. So they're very good, they're not expensive, and let's open them up, show you guys how they look. I'm not sure why they did this, but as you could see, there's 2, there's 4, and then this one's actually missing 1. So I'm not sure why they did that. I need to call them because there's only 5 in here. I'm just kidding. It's a 5-cylinder engine. I got you. I got you. You were about to start commenting, this guy's such an idiot. Oh my God. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, so obviously we got 5 rods, 1 per cylinder. And they're still in the package. I don't want to take them out. They seem to be in some kind of protective layer in film. But these will go on the vehicle, and they come with ARP rod bolts, which are right over here on the bottom. And so far, everyone I've asked, they have been saying nothing but good things about them. So these are definitely one of the weakest points on the white block motors on the Volvos, and so beefing these up should make your vehicle a beast on the street. Big shout out to Omar. Anyone in the Volvo forum would know him. 850 Platy on Instagram. He kind of he knew that I was looking for some rods, and he put me in contact with the gentleman who didn't need these anymore, and he sold them to me for a really, really great price. Jason Rivero on Instagram, S60R_ETRO, and he was the one that sent me these rods so that I can install them in my car. Very excited to have these. So as we know, the pistons on these cars are safe for 500, 600 wheel horsepower, the stock pistons, but it's the noodle arms that get bent a lot. Yeah. So anyway, these will be on the car. I'm not sure if I want to do pistons, if there's really a need, because I'll explain to you why. But this is my rationale, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong. So first of all, we have a front wheel drive car. Having gobs of power, 600, 700, 800 wheel horsepower on a front wheel drive car is kind of ridiculous if you're not getting traction. So I think also something safe for the street is somewhere around the 400 to 500 horsepower range. I could be wrong, but that's just what I think. So in addition to that, we know that the white blocks, shimmed or not shimmed, their limit is around the 500 wheel horsepower range. So if I don't want anything that's too much for the street and for a front wheel drive car, and if I know the limit for the white block is around 500 wheel horsepower without getting it dart and sleeved and everything, then why would I need forged pistons if I'm not trying to shoot more than 500 horsepower, since the stock pistons can handle that comfortably? The only negative aspect are the stock rods, which we have remedied. So that's just kind of my mentality. I'm not shooting for the moon, and so that's why I kind of don't think that I don't need the rod. That's why I kind of don't think that I need the pistons, although they would be nice to have for, you know, for safety's sake, but I don't think I'm gonna do the pistons. So those are the rods. Up next, we have our friends from Revolve that sent me this out. They were kind enough to kind of rush this for me. This is our exhaust manifold, and they make this in either the R-Mani or the Japanifold. That is very popular. They sent me the Japanifold version, as you can see, but this one is completely spec'd out to fit a big turbo, which is coming up next. But so they tap the bolt holes to hold larger hardware. So because you're going to be having a heavier turbo hanging off of this, they want something that's a little bit more secure in structure. So they do that, and then they machine everything for you, and they put the T3 flange so that it can play nice with your new T3 turbo. So this is going to be sweet because I went from the stock manifold on the vehicle to a R manifold. And as we know, a lot of these manifolds, they crack and whatnot. So having this freshened up, reconditioned custom unit for the new turbo is going to be sweet. And plus, it's a Japanifold. I never ran one of these, but everyone says that the sound on these is much, much better. So we'll just put it to the test. Thanks our friends at Revolve for sending this out quicker than usual. And we'll move on to the next item. You guys should see this cat. It's hella cute. Alright, so the next couple of items we got from eBay. They're just easier to get there. But these will essentially... Oh my god, this is so heavy. And this is what I'm saying. That's why you really need that exhaust manifold to be able to support the extra weight that you're getting with these components. That is really heavy. Oh my god. Jeez. And then this. So we got 3 things from eBay. First, we can talk about the turbine housing. Actually, you know what? This is not really gonna make sense without showing you the turbo. Let me show you guys the turbo first. A lot of peanuts. The turbo that I decided to get for this vehicle is going to be a Garrett dual ball bearing GTX 3071R. Here we have it. And it is just glorious to look at this thing. Once again, I opted for the version 1 instead of the 2 because with the version 2, it has the ability to create a lot more power, but based off of what I said before, we're not shooting for all that power if we're A, not going to be able to put it to the wheels, we're not going to use it, and B, if that's a limitation of the motor, I'm not trying to break something. So I got this from Himny, H-I-M-N-I, I think Himny Racing. I think they're based out of Florida. They had these in stock for some of the cheapest prices that I saw. This is the Super Core, so it is without the turbine housing, which I'll show you in a sec. But because you have to get something specific to make it work right. But this is the Super Core, and I opted for the 3-inch inlets right over here. That'll connect to your, in my case, the Snab fresh air pipe, and the 2-inch outlet that will go to my intercooler. So this one will be able to make easy the 450 wheel horsepower that we're shooting for. So excited to put this thing on. Now, I can show you this. And once again, this is from Mamba, but once again, it comes with all the hardware that you need. This is the Ford XR6 82 GT30R 60mm turbine housing. And I got this from eBay. It was $200. Comes with all the gaskets that you need and all the hardware. It's pretty much a great solid unit. Mamba makes some good stuff. I've used their products before on my K24 that I currently have on the car. This one will mate up to the turbo and provide a fun time. And as you can see, it has the same flange that connects to the exhaust manifold that we got from Revolve. And the side that connects to the downpipe, because obviously this is a lot different than what you currently have. For this, we get the adapter. This is another thing that I got from eBay. Once again, comes with the gasket as well as the hardware. This is called the Mamba SUS 304 5-bolt to 3-inch V-band turbo dump downpipe flange. Keeps going. / Ford something. But essentially, what this allows us to do is, so this goes on like that. Basically, now we have this adapter that fits like this, and this piece goes to our custom downpipe that we will make for the car. But plenty of flow over here, and it has the gasket in the middle. So, and if you're wondering, you know, what's the rationale behind a lot of this? Well, whenever you talk to your tuner, in my case, it's Aaron with Vast Tuning, he will suggest a lot of these parts for you, depending on your build and what you're shooting for, because he has a lot of experience doing these for hundreds of people. Oh, the last thing to the equation, well, not really the last, but you know, we still need to get our some of the blow-off valves, maybe. I know some people want me to just bypass and put a block-off plate, but this has the external wastegate, so the arm, the bracket, and the unit itself is from our friends at Kinugawa. A lot of people use these parts for their Volvo builds. This is a pretty sturdy unit, and with some modification we'll be able to connect this guy to our turbo setup to be able to run it. And so I think that's it. That was also purchased from eBay. So that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for hanging out with me and just watching me ramble about some car parts. The motor is currently out and taken apart. And big shout out to John Missouri, Moose MG850, I believe is his Instagram. And he's pretty much going to be slapping all these things back together for me, since he's done it a million times. And the new piston rings, the rods, he's going to be honing the cylinder walls. We're going to put some NA cams on there. Just a couple of nice things, probably well, yeah, we're going to do the NA cams, maybe not the intake, I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, once all that stuff is done, we can go ahead and slap on the turbo, and then I can get the vehicle back so we can go ahead and fabricate an exhaust system to tie everything back together. Once that's done, then we can go ahead and start the tuning process. And the car already has the manual swap. It already has the M56 that I installed the Quaife LSD inside of it with brand new bearings and races and everything. So guys, it's getting there slowly but surely, and hopefully we can enjoy it in boost weather season. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and look out for some upcoming videos. We have a couple of exciting things, and you definitely don't want to miss some of the engine build process. So anyway, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Look how cute this cat is, just hanging out. Hey.